So what's going on? Thanks for coming on and doing this. I appreciate it.
Appreciate you. Happy to be here.
So Pavlos, you own a restaurant and you understand a thing or two about search engine optimization.
Yes, sir.
What's the value of search engine optimization and a website for a restaurant brand?
So I can just say from the beginning, so it's a family-owned restaurant group. We had 4 locations at one point. Now we're just down to 1. My parents are going more towards retirement, but I've been heavily invested my whole life. Pre having all this stuff set up, like SEO purposes and having a marketing plan and all that stuff, we were just a restaurant that ran on phone-ins, walk-ins, all that kind of stuff, and we were very profitable and whatever. It's a old Greek run establishment, but when we actually put more of those things together and having our SEO on point, it took our revenue up $200,000 to $300,000 in a year. You know what I mean?
For context, what percentage is that for context?
I mean, it's like an extra 15%, I would say, but
okay,
massive. You know what I mean?
Massive.
Yeah. So if you just have a nice plan set up, my parents did really well for themselves, but this is just money that you're just putting in the bank and you're not even worrying about it, and you can pay your employees and not worry about payroll and labor and vendor bills and all that kind of stuff, just extra stuff. Yeah.
What was the decision process to investigate that particular line of, because every day people are pitching restaurant owners saying, hey, this is the thing that's going to make you 15%. This is the thing that's going to blow up your revenue. Why did you decide to invest in an SEO centric product?
Well, number one, I had a lot of influence in that, just because, I went to school for economics, and I know that technology is such a big part of the whole society today, including restaurants. And when COVID hit, we didn't have anything. We didn't have a delivery program. We were a pizza place too. So it's weird that we didn't have any of those things. No technology in the store whatsoever, old school register. My dad has a system and he gets it, but we just needed something to take that extra step, especially during a time where people weren't coming in as much. We had to give more options to the clientele. So that was the big decision. Yeah.
So Joe, you have these conversations all the time. Do you ever have to convince people that investing in a website is the right thing to do, or do people already just get it?
Yeah, no, some people do, right? And it's a different generation too. I think Pablo's mentioned, they're very old school, and just understanding how important it is now to have digital presence. And I think you saw that shift, and not to bring it up again, I don't want to say COVID again, but right, that's how it was that much more relevant to have a digital presence, because people weren't coming into the restaurants, and you had to really make sure that you were being seen and finding a way to continue running your business without having that face-to-face, without running that face-to-face business. So yeah, I don't think it's an easy conversation hey, you need a website, because historically websites serve as business cards, right? Do you go to websites? When you go to websites now, I'm looking at a menu, I'm looking at something that's not functional. So I go there, I look at hours, which are most of the time wrong. And I'm going to their menu and I'm not seeing anything I need on there. And then I'm hopping off to go find what I need. So when you have, a website that is functional and having things that I can actually interact with, and, that's kind of the shift that kind of company we work for, and just how things need to be now.
Right. So what stage is the website in the decision-making process?
I think it's first stage.
People are like, I'm hungry, I'm going to get, and they go to a website.
100%. I mean, listen,
Google.
Google's first step.
That's why SEO is so important, right? Because that's what we say. Every 90% of this traffic that people are, if you're not from the area or you're in a new place, where are you going? You're going, you're opening up your browser on your phone, and 95% of people on your phone, you're not using Safari. You're opening your browser and it's Google, and that's where your search is coming from. And I know for me, just speaking as a consumer, right, that's what I'm doing right away.
Yeah.
And if if your SEO is lacking, you're not showing up on Google, or it's bringing me directly to your Yelp page. So that's why it's that important to have that, Google presence and build that SEO.
Any predictions on where Google is going to lead people next?
I hope it doesn't change out of websites, to be honest, just work-wise. But I doubt it. I just think it's such a complex algorithm anyway. I think they want to drive people to the right place. They want to drive people to that what has the most clicks, what has the most interaction, and that's why that's why where we work plays such a big part, because our algorithm works directly with theirs as well, so and how we index things, and it's really powerful.
Okay, well, there's probably 10 people on earth that know how the algorithm actually works, but how does maybe less than that, more than that?
Yeah, I would say maybe less. You know what I mean?
Jason, I feel like you might be one of those people.
Maybe.
No way. They're just glasses. It doesn't come with the brains.
Yeah.
So how does that work with? So how do you implement a system that connects with the way that mysterious system works? How do they talk to each other?
Sure, and I can talk from my experience too, with our family's websites. For our main restaurant, we were maybe getting 60 to 70 views per day to our website because we didn't focus on it. Again, a lot of call-ins, a lot of walk-ins, whatever. And in just a short period of time, maybe a 3 to 4 month turnaround, when we implemented, Pop Menus technology, we are now seeing 1,500 views per day, 1,600 views per day, and that was in a very short turnaround. And that's all because maybe it's a little bit different from my restaurant. We have a very big menu, and we index all of our menu items with Google. So if someone is searching best lasagna in Wallops Island, Virginia, where my restaurant is located, that's the first search result, no matter what, every single time. And Google recognizes that, when people are clicking on it, because it has its own hyperlink, right? It's all within your website, and it's all going back to your website. So obviously, with us, no one can copy that. It's patented. No one else can really do what we do in this space. So that's how it
website spend time is also a big thing for you guys.
Yeah. Average spend time on a website, that doesn't have any of this functionality, is around 30 seconds. So in 30 seconds, what are you really going to accomplish? You're probably not going to make your dining decision.
Is that also known? Is that the bounce rate the same thing?
Yeah, that's a bounce. If you go on, don't really complete anything.
I think the bounce rate is less than 10 seconds or something, right? Less than 10 seconds on a site, they bounce. They're not even counted.
Yeah, I would say
they're not even counted into your site.
Sure. And my average time on our website now is over 6 minutes, which is stupid.
6 minutes on your website.
Yeah,
that's astonishing.
Pretty wild.
On this Google Meet, this is the longest time I'm ever on a single website, and I have 10 browsers open.
Exactly. Yeah. So it's pretty wild. Yeah, you think about it, the longer you're on something like Amazon, the more stuff you're going to buy, right?
Yeah. The level of intent rises.
Same thing should apply to your restaurant.
I read a study that somewhere around the low 70% of the people that go to your website, around 70% of them have an extremely high intent to buy, as in they're likely to buy something for you within the next 30-day horizon. Yeah. So did you see, if you track that information on your restaurants, or your restaurant now, did you see the sales numbers go up as a result of implementing this SEO program?
Yeah, and we definitely converted more customers because we're a very eclectic restaurant. No one really knows what we do. We have so many things in there. So if we're showing everyone exactly what we do and the quality of food that we're bringing now, so we're even converting, and our average ticket has also gone up too, which is a big thing. Went up $7. For a QSR restaurant, if your average ticket went from 31 in store to 39 online, that's a massive conversion, right?
Okay, so it's QSR, it's pizza. You want to just tell us what it is?
Yeah, it's called Ocean Deli in Wallops Island, Virginia. It's been open since 1984. We're not a deli. That's why it's weird. Not a deli. We're a full service restaurant. We have a whole convenience section with 8 refrigerators of beer, and it's weird. All right, it's a very Greek restaurant, Greek American restaurant. You know what I mean? So cool. It's wild. Yeah.
Okay.
My dad's a psych.
Gas too.
Yeah, we have gas too, which is completely out of the norm as well. So
you sell gas for cars?
Yeah. Anything to make a buck.
Okay. All right.
That's my dad's psycho. I don't know. It's all his idea. It's a vision.
So what kind of objections do you get if so you've been selling, how long have you been selling websites, or how long have you been in the website media space. I don't know what to call it.
I mean, for me, a couple over 2 years. Yeah,
over 2 years.
Yeah.
And so, like, what do people say when what are the main primary objections that you get?
People don't use websites. They say people, you guys build websites, people don't use websites anymore.
Yeah.
But those are people that don't understand the importance of restaurant technology, right?
Yeah.
Like you said, you mentioned before that 70% of these people that are on these websites, they have an intent to buy. And the problem now is that they go to a website, and if you can't, like you tell people, right? They're on your website for a reason. If they don't have a path, an easy path to make a transaction when they're like at a very high, they're at a very high buying, like mental state, in a very high buying mental state. If you're not giving them the tools to do that, you lost them. So take advantage of that. And that's why it's so important.
Well, like my understanding of that fact was that, they say that 97% of facts are made up anyways. But 97% of statistics are made up. But to arrive to that point of high intent, there has to be an inception. And inception was created by the search engine optimization, where the website told the search engine that that's what you wanted, and then to get you to that point of that high level of intent, and then to convert at that point. And so it's like I always thought that the website, regardless of like that I don't really put a whole lot of time and energy into like what it looks like. It's to generate that conversion.
Yeah.
And shit, what was I going to say? Like the level of intent to get there, and fuck, what was I going to say? Or whatever. It's probably not important. I'm interviewing you anyways. So they say nobody looks at websites, right? Nobody cares about what a website is. Why should I spend a couple $100 a month on this website? So what else can a website do aside from tell you what's on the menu?
Right. I mean, yeah, if you're using the right menu technology, restaurant technology, a website should essentially be your restaurant in a digital, in a digital form. So everything you can do in the restaurant, right? You go in and you get the aesthetic, and you kind of get the vibe of the restaurant, and now you can order your food. It's an easily order your food, right? How many times you go to a website, you click on order now, it pushes you out to this website. You have to type in a login, and you're like, okay, I'm done. I'm busy. I got to go. So I think that's the biggest thing. The biggest thing, right, is getting to a website, and you should be able to do everything that you're going to do in the restaurant, besides, of course, someone coming into your house, and sometimes, and putting your food on the table. So I think that's the biggest thing, right? You did all this work SEO wise, and you spent this money to get them to your site. Now, what are you going to do with them? You have them there, give them the opportunity to order from you, to get information about your restaurant, and while they're there, collect their data, right? Get your customer data, which is the most important thing. So I think that's the biggest thing.
When I tell people that I'm all about the data, they're like, "Oh, so you're going to spam me?" What would you say to that?
I mean,
listen.
Everyone.
We're not going to spam you, but we're going to put you in a position that, we're trying to convert you more as customers. But the thing is, we're looking out for you as well, to have a good time, or to give you a deal, or to do something along those lines where you're benefiting you and the restaurant, right? I'm a huge fan of so many restaurants in this area, and if they have something going on, like some type of happy hour, an event, or whatever, I'm there because I'm loyal to them, right? So that's the whole importance of it, but it's also helping the restaurant too, two-way street,
right? Yeah. Giving them more of what you already
love. Right. Yeah, sure.
If you were to like find the average restaurant owner that's statistically likely to go out of business in 5 years, how would you shake them, and what would you shout at them, and hope that they would learn in their interaction with you? I mean, you don't have to shout. That's my words, not yours.
Yeah. I mean, I'd shout at them. I don't care. It's just like for me, when on the digital side of things, there's so many things that people do wrong in restaurants that, me and my cousins have so many deep conversations about. But number one is you can't just stay in your own lane and think you're doing everything right. Like my dad. Okay. Number one, you have been in this business forever, and this is all and what worked today didn't work 20 years ago, and what worked 20 years ago doesn't work today, right? So you have to adapt in every situation. That would be the best advice I could give. And today, your online presence and how you're shown on a computer screen or a cell phone is the number one thing, because you're not going to drive people unless you have a good presence there. So that'd be my biggest advice.
Okay, let's say you're a single owner operator, like you have your own restaurant and you're the only owner. You've got 10 investors that you have to report to every month, and you have a choice of outsourcing operations, marketing, sales, or anything else. What would you outsource out of those options? What are most outsourceable things for you?
That's a good question.
Because you can't do it all. Like you can't be a master of operations. You can't cook all the food. Can't serve all the tables. You can't, respond to every DM that you get on Instagram.
Yeah.
You can't respond to every message that you get on Google. What do you outsource? What don't you do?
Me personally, I would say marketing. I'm not a awesome marketer.
Marketing can also hurt you, right? If you're marketing the wrong way, you're marketing shit. Can I say shitty?
It's being edited. It's fine.
You're marketing.
Clutching my pearls.
Yeah, it's very offended, right? Like you're marketing to the wrong demographic. You're marketing the wrong pictures. You're marketing crap. You're taking crappy iPhone pictures. I think marketing can be done, and you know this, right? Marketing can go poorly. Like there are times that there are restaurants where, hey, my friends are like, hey, check out this restaurant, and I go to their Instagram because I'm that generation, right? That's the first thing I'm going to do, and I'm like, I don't want to go here, right? Like I see their food, or I go like, that's what I'm seeing, and I don't want to go here. Like that picture's upside down. It looks like crap, but their food could be really good.
Yeah.
But that's not showing me good. And I think it's unfortunate, right? It is unfortunate for a lot of these restaurants that have been around forever. They have great food, but they don't, like, if they can't do their marketing properly, and someone that's never been there, I'm searching on Instagram, which stinks for them. But like Pablo said, you have to evolve with the times. And that's kind of, that's where we're at today.
Yeah. Okay. Well, tell me about what's your process in deciding where you want to eat? Like, have you ever thought about like, what's your process, or like, how do you arrive at the place that you're going to eat?
I'm always,
I know you're in the business.
Yeah. Number one, I'm always looking on Google. Number one, like I'm always searching something.
Right in the search bar.
Yeah. And like, I know a lot of people might search, best Italian, best French, best blah, 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 best restaurant in my area.
Okay. So do you put that
I
in
don't
there?
use it. I go, what am I feeling today? Like, I really want the best margarita pizza in my area right now. And I'm searching that. And then it goes, and that's why SEO is so important, right? Because your SEO could be really tailored towards, I'm a French restaurant. I'm gonna really focus on that. But I want stuff that I'm feeling in the now, right? Because I maybe not want a pizza tomorrow. I want it today, and I want the best one in my area. So that's really important, and that's how I do things.
But that's our process now, right? Then you go there, you find something. If what's the first thing that comes up? Someone with a website that's outdated, right? Trash.
Yeah.
As we say. And I go to their website. I don't see pictures. I don't see reviews. I see nothing. The first thing I'm doing is hopping off to a third party. I'm going to Yelp. I'm going to TripAdvisor. And then I'm seeing people complaining about like sticky floors. The food is great, but they have sticky floors, 1 star. If I see a 3-star review on Yelp, I'm not going there.
Yeah.
So
absolutely not going there.
Absolutely not.
3 stars.
No,
3 stars.
Not even 3.5.
Not 3.5.
Not even 3.5.
4 or less. Yeah, 3.5 or less. 4 and up.
No, 4 and up. I'm going.
Okay.
Seriously.
Wow.
It's a tough.
Okay, so that just unpack. Like, I think that behavior is exactly the same way that the rest of the world behaves when they're evaluating where they're going to go. And it's like in the old days, it used to be like brand, menu, item. Now it's like item, menu, brand. And so people are like, I'm going to have an avocado toast right now. And then they look for this is the example that they showed me on the thing, by the way. They're like avocado toast in Pasadena. And I was like, wow, that's really kind of astonishing, because that is really truly how people think in a hyper curated, I want it now, I want it right now kind of society. Yeah. And if you're not representing I can't even think of a single food item that's not represented in only text on our website right now. So I'm excited to change that in the coming weeks.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it's kind of insane. And we got some information from Grubhub and Seamless as well about like the growth of certain things. And the number one biggest change was people search for a veggie burger. So they weren't looking for Mr. Beast burger. They weren't looking for McDonald's. They were looking for a veggie burger.
Exactly.
Looking categorically for the item that they wanted. So if what you're saying is true, then people are going to look for the item that they want first, and then they will discover whatever brand it is later. But okay, so let's go through the process again. So it's like you guys first you look at Google, and then you look at the star ratings on the places around you in your proximity. So
yeah, like let's say I was driven to that restaurant, right? And I didn't really find what I needed on the website, right? I don't see pictures, I don't see anything. I don't see what people think about it, because that plays a super big part today. You're trusting strangers, essentially, with what you should eat, and I think that's
more,
like, go ahead.
More so than the people that actually make and buy the food, by the way.
Yeah, which is wild. But it's today's society. And then if I don't find what I'm doing, I'm literally going to Yelp, number one, which sucks, but it's what people do today. And if it's 3.5 stars or below, because it could look good and it could sound good, and then I see those 3.5 stars, I'm like, I'm turned off.
I mean, I'm just curious, like where the line is drawn. Is it like 3.55 stars or 3.6 stars is successful?
Yeah. So Yelp, unfortunately, you can't have that. It's 3.5, 4, 4.5.
That's why Yelp sucks.
Reviews too, right? You have to look at the reviews, because there could be like a restaurant that has 3.5 stars, right? And every like bad review can just be like they close at weird hours, or they don't pick their parking stops. They don't pick up their phone.
That's true.
But those are the reviews I love, right? They have 1 star, and it's like it starts with the food was incredible, and then the next sentence is like there's no parking, and then you're like, I don't care.
No, that's very true.
Some punitive bullshit that kills a review. Yeah, no,
you'll find a restaurant owner who likes Yelp.
You won't find it.
Yeah, I dropped my fork. 1 star.
They took 10 minutes to get me a new one.
Yeah,
go get your own fork.
Yeah.
But the food was the best I've ever had.
The food was fantastic.
Okay, so this probably, I'm curious your thoughts on this. What is the difference between a bad review and libel?
and what was that?
And libel, like slander. Because it's like it's gonna kill, like a bad review could kill your business.
It can. You also want to look at the people that are writing these reviews too, right? There are people that write bad reviews for a living. I mean, you go to their thing, they have 100 restaurants that they're reviewing, and they're only bad. And then there are the people that only write good reviews.
So, I mean, like, what's the difference? Like, a bad review is if there's, some truth to it, and the restaurant owner like didn't do what they're supposed to do, or the staff didn't do what they were supposed to do, and they found a freaking hair in their food, like whatever, that stuff happens. You should try and make up for it. Now, if you're just slandering somebody for absolutely no reason, which my restaurant's gotten a ton, but who cares? I don't really care anymore. Like, now that we have the technology that we need to really keep our customer relationship tight, that's different. If there's nothing behind it and it's just doing it just because, like one time we fired somebody, they went straight to Yelp and wrote a 3-paragraph thing. Yeah. That's stupid.
And it's out of your control.
And you can't get it off.
It's like, so
it's a joke.
They're like, pay us $10,000 and we'll take off that review.
Do you want to hear the ultimate shade? Is deleting a competitor's Google account. And you can do that because the burden is on the original account owner to turn it back on and prove it.
You're right. You're right, actually. Yeah.
That's so salty, right? I just heard this story today.
That's amazing. And going to that, like, you're talking like a Google My Business, right?
That's Google My Business, yeah.
Yeah. So we actually found like studies at work that 68% of restaurants Google My Business is incorrect, which is absolutely insane. And that plays a huge part of SEO too. Like, while we're on the subject, if you're going there and you have all these links that are leading you to nothing and it's wrong information, your hours are wrong, your website's wrong on there, because we've seen multiple times where the website's one thing on their Google My Business, but the best website that has the best SEO is the number one search result on their Google search, and they're both leading to different places. So that's important too. Not like that's huge.
The hours are wrong. You did that the other day. Something was like, I'm like, oh, they close it. I think it was on their Google My Business. I was like, oh, they close at 8. And he was like, no, they definitely don't close at 8.
Yeah,
like, look at their website or call them. And they were like, no, we close at 11. I'm like, okay.
It's a business killer, number one. You know, that's like your cash register is your Google My Business, right? Because if you don't have the right information, you're not going to the right place, you're not looking at the right hours, you're ordering from Grubhub, you know, it's just not profitable.
You know, when people think, right, that's the holy grail right there. That's like
this is the right information.
The source of truth should be your Google My Business, because that's the first thing that comes up. And when those hours are wrong, if you didn't say like check their website, I would have been like, oh, they close at 9, and I wouldn't have gone.
Sure.
So I think that's
I'm pretty sure. Well, I'm pretty sure they've recently merged too. So Google My Business and Google Maps are basically the same thing now.
Gotcha.
It's just like disheartening to hear like there's such a causal relationship between businesses going out of business, which happens just so frequently. Like it's like 80% over 5 years in New York City, something like astonishing. Like you were going to go out of business if you open up a restaurant in New York, pretty much. So congratulations, investors, great investment. But there's so much thought and effort and time is put into decor, that is put into products, execution, consistency. But a tree that falls in the woods does not make a sound. So what's the saddest conversation you've ever had with a client?
Too many.
Have you ever had clients that came to you, they were just like, I need to try something. Something's got to give here.
I need to try something. And they're literally losing every week because they don't have the right things in place. But then they sometimes can't afford what we do. You know what I mean? And then they're like, oh, like I can't afford this. How am I supposed to pay you guys every month? And then if not, I'm going to lose my business. So what do I do? You know, you're like stuck between a rock and a hard place, you know?
Well, first of all, what you guys do is not that crazy. Like, it's not that crazy expensive. And to that person, if I were on the other side of that, on the other end of that phone, I would be like, listen, you can't afford not to. Like, this is something that it could potentially save your business. And it's like, what's like the $500, $600 a month, or losing your life savings? Like, what would you do here?
Eat that. It's like, it's going to turn around your business.
And that's a lot of the conversation. That's a big conversation, right? A lot of them, even for restaurants that aren't failing, right? It's kind of like, well, we're barely breaking even now. And okay, well, this is why we're here. I understand. Like it's an investment. That's the point, is to drive more people to your business. So I think having, and it's just it's just a conversation of like making them think differently and making people think differently of like, it's not just spending money, like you're going to get that money back.
And some restaurant owners won't see the value, and that's fine. But I would say like they're probably not in position to make a profitable business then. Number one, you know, if you can't adapt and you can't see new things and you're just stuck. I mean, how is your business going to evolve? Do you want to make more money, or are you comfortable? Right. I think it's the difference between a really good business owner and one that's just like, I'm just in here because this is kind of fun, and and I'm just going with the flow. That's the biggest difference.
I don't know a single person that would choose to get their ass kicked every single day for fun.
Literally. Yeah. Ask my dad. He's like, I want money.
I would hope so.
He's 62, and he's still in there every single day sweating his ass off. So props to him, but my dad makes a good living doing it. So, I mean, that's the difference. You know,
work keeps you young,
I guess. I don't know. He's getting a few more wrinkles